What is going on, guys? Finally, episode 5 of Gangsta is out, and I gotta say, in my own opinion, it was definitely worth the wait. This episode right here, it was like awesome and even more. We had so much going on, but the episode can be like broken up into like different sections as well. And so we see now at the beginning of the episode, we see now in the flashback, this right here is where where those three laws were like first made. And we see now, well, obviously we already knew that like Warwick is a gigolo, and we see him now with like one of his clients. And I gotta say, I was impressed because this chick was hot. I was surprised that like she would even, use a service like this. But we see now obviously Warwick did leave a pretty good impression on her. But we see now that the reason why these tags are so freaking powerful is because they use a drug called Celebrer. Hoping I'm saying that right, but this drug here, it enhances their body, which is why they're able to do or fight at kind of like not a superhuman but above human level. And so we see that, after Warwick was like done with a client and got paid, he actually wanted to take Nick out because he found a restaurant where they actually serve tags. But we see that when he found him, Nick here, he was like pretty messed up in the face. But we see that like he was like, well, afterwards they took him to the doctor that I believe that they use now. And obviously you can tell like this was like some years ago, because to me that doctor seemed like almost a completely different character. But I do believe that was him. But now we see that this guild where like these tags hang out and kind of like work at. We see now that like there was this busty chick who name is Ginger, and we see now that like she had warned their boss, who I'm guessing is like in a league of her own, and I believe her name is like Gina. But we see now she was like warned that like Doug, who was that kid we see fighting, Nicolas. We see now that like she was now alerted that this guy here was like hired and now doing a job where like he's after Mr. Monroe. And obviously that right there shocked her, because this guy, he is like under the protection of the three laws. So right now or anytime, no one should be going after him. But this guy does not care about the rules, because obviously he like still trying to kill him. But now going into the fight between Nicolas and Doug. Now I thought this fight would be short and quick. I thought Nicolas would make quick work of him, but Doug here, I sadly, underestimated him, and I felt bad for that, because Doug here, this guy can fight, and him and Nicolas had a pretty good lengthy fight. I was like into it, and we see now, sometimes it was like very fast paced, but even so, their fight, it was like definitely good, and we just see everybody, watching them, and we even have, Mr. Monroe still, taking bets on this, and we see now that like some big guy had picked Nicolas, and we have somebody picking Doug. So even though Nicolas is like working right now to take out this tag and save Monroe, he is still people still will like bet against him actually losing this fight. And I thought that right there was like kind of messed up. But we see now that Warwick, he was like still trying to get information, but the guy he was like talking to, he would not talk, and so he like shot him in the leg. And obviously that right there must have broken, because we see now that when like Warwick had like came back, that right there is where we had learned what was going on. And we do learn like in another flashback, when Nicolas was a rank, I do believe they said C3. Well, we see that when he was that rank, he actually attacked the Monroe family, and even though obviously he did not take them all out, we did learn that he had messed up half of a mansion, and so obviously that right there is still rather impressive. And not only that, we see now that he killed a lot of people as well. But we see now that the reason why he did this, the reason why, Warwick, though he did that, is because he was like getting payback for them messing him up when Warwick apparently slept with like Monroe's girl. But the real reason why is because that the real reason why is because Nicolas had actually wanted to retaliate against Warwick, and we have no idea why that is, but it definitely made sense because sometimes Nicolas does not listen, and Warwick does want to be his friend, but sometimes he do have to act like his boss and really give him an order. And so we see that because of that, that right there is the only way that right there is the only way Lick will listen when he wants to, but when he doesn't, and it's so stubborn, he has to invoke their contract. And I do wonder, just how does Nicolas view Warwick? Does he actually consider him a friend, or maybe just his employer? Hopefully they will go into the depths of that, because right now seeds of distrust was definitely being planted in this episode by Mr. Monroe's comment. But now we have Doug, or we had Doug actually trying to take out Mr. Monroe while fighting Nicolas, and I thought that right there was crazy. But obviously Nick had this speed, and we see that he was easily able to get him out of there while Mr. Monroe made his escape. And now we have their fight going on, but we see now that at one point we have Doug here throwing these knives, and we see that they went into Nicolas' arms, but luckily they did not hit any nerves, so he could still use them pretty effectively. But now we see that Nicolas here, he actually overdosed on the drug, and I'm guessing that drug, all those pills that he takes all the time, that right there must be the Celebrer. So I'm definitely shocked that he can get these pills so easily, because we see him take a bunch, in I believe episode 2, and now in last week as well, he takes so much that it makes sense why he is so good and can fight the way he does, because right now his body is on a high, and he just has no limits, because we see at one point, even though Doug gets attacked in the same ring, he was getting tired from this, but Nicolas wasn't. He was still going strong. And obviously when he realized that Nicolas was on an overdose, he had tried to talk to him, but Nicolas was not listening, and actually went on the offensive one more time. And this time he also broke his other knife as well. And now we see that we have now we see that in one scene where we have the spotlight focusing on Alex, and I gotta say I definitely miss seeing her, because right now her character is definitely not getting a spotlight, because right now we're focusing on Nicolas and Warwick, and even though she's a main character, at least for the episode, she took a back seat. But obviously the ending right there is definitely putting the spotlight back on her. But now going back to the fight where we have Nicolas getting the upper hand, because his body was still on that high, and even though right now he was not feeling any pain, we do see that it was gonna wear off soon. And not only that, we have Warwick watching them, and obviously he is no match for a tag, because he is a normal. But we see that there was one thing he could do, and that right there was to handicap this guy by shooting him in the leg, so that way Nicolas could finish him off quickly. But we see that before he can do that, we have Ginger and Gina. They had not came in there and intervened, because we see now that Nicolas was definitely going to win with one more attack. But we see Gina now, this girl, even though she seems so shy and nervous, she's pretty fast, because she actually saved Doug just in time. And then we have Gina as well come out of nowhere and shooting them. And at first I had no idea what she was shooting them with, because obviously those were not bullets, but it seemed like it was water or something. But we see now that when Nick had noticed something was definitely wrong here, it turns out it was another drug called a downer. And apparently they work very well on tags. And I'm guessing that this downer, as they called it, I'm guessing that it also get rid of the effects of the other drug, the Celebrer. And so now we see with Nick definitely in a weakened state. We see now that Gina had warned him about overdosing, And we finally learned what happened to that girl, you know, Veronica, where like she was attacked as well, and she overdosed, you know, on Celebrer, and now we see the results of that. So I definitely felt, you know, like bad for her, and I swear to God, you know, Nick better not end up that way, because the guy is a beast, and so hopefully, you know, that right there, you know, won't be the case at all. But now we see that because of that, you know, this guy, this guy just had the biggest grin on his face, and that right there, you know, made her shoot him again, and finally, you know, put him down. And going back to Alex now, you know, at first she had fell asleep, but you know, when she woke up, apparently, you know, somebody, you know, was like on her desk, and she like knocked it off, and that right there made her think about, you know, her pimp. Now, obviously, you know, that scene right there could be interpreted in so many ways, but obviously, you know, her post-traumatic syndrome, you know, her stress, it is definitely getting to her. And then we have the doctor, you know, appearing there outside the building. And of course, you know, with her raining, he was like using an umbrella, but then we see now that we should looked at him, and he lifted it up. You know, he has saw, you know, her dead pimp, and then we go back to Nick and Warwick, you know, who like Warwick is currently, you know, like helping move, because obviously, you know, that downer is definitely affecting him. But we see now that like Gina had left Doug behind, and I do wonder, you know, if he was kicked out the guild, you know, for like going after Mr. Monroe, and if he is, I do wonder if he will join, you know, Warwick and Nicolas, because the more guys they have, the better, and Doug can definitely fight pretty well. So I guess we'll see how they'll play out. But obviously, you know, right now, you know, Warwick here was like definitely depressed, because like there's no way he can leave this this kid, you know, out here. And so right now he carries them both, and we see now that I do believe her name was like Nina. That girl, the doctor's daughter, we saw her now changing. Apparently, she was actually gonna go out in the rain, and we see now that when she opened the door, Nicolas and Warwick, you know, Nicolas, Warwick, and Doug had now fell inside, and so right now he obviously wants to put them on beds while they sleep off their downer, and he wants to use the phone. And we see now that when he calls to the office, you know, Alice is gone, because we saw that doctor, you know, we heard him anyway, walking up the steps, and obviously, you know, it's obvious that he took Alex, but we have no idea, you know, for what. So right now it's definitely, you know, a bit strange. But like I said, the episode overall to me was definitely good. I love the fight. You know, I'm glad we had a lengthy fight, and I'm glad it went a lot better than I thought it would. And now Nicolas overdosing, that right there definitely has me worried, because obviously it could play, you know, a pretty big role later on. But overall, good episode, a lot of story progression, you know, a great fight. We had some pretty good information, you know, come out, and of course we had new characters, which was like always a plus, because obviously with like Gina being Gina being a boss of all tags, obviously, you know, she definitely is pretty powerful. But overall, I'm gonna give it probably an 8 out of 10. But of course, I would love to get your guys' thoughts on this. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps me out. And you guys take it easy. I will see you all next time.